So I was gonna first talk about something that I wanted to talk about, um, but then I decided to change what I'm talking about because right now the big thing that's going on in the UFOlogy community, which is the study of UFOs, which is obviously the most secret subject that there is. There's a disclosure movement going on with Corey Goode and David Wilcock, and the what's up for debate right now is whether that movement is valid and is actually the truth and is going for what they're actually going for, and which is full disclosure. And I just want to add in what I have gathered about that. And the truth is I've actually gone back and forth in what I think about what's going on there, because I mean in this field where you're constantly unlocking doors and gaining access to new information, your belief and your opinion and does change because of new information and stuff that you get enlightened to, and it definitely allows you to start believing in things that you didn't believe before you knew the information that you didn't have before. And with the Corey Goode and David Wilcock movement, when I first came upon Corey Goode and David Wilcock, I read both their books, The Synchronicity Key and the Extraterrestrial Alliances and the Secret Space Programs. And both of them, I was writing a book at the same time myself, but I had, obviously that's about to come out, but I resonated with those books because they helped me in my awakening process. And so I was definitely resonating with both Corey Goode and David Wilcock. And because with the information that David Wilcock has, I reinforced that in my book. And with the information that Corey Goode has, I reinforce that in my book as well, because I am coming forward with my own experiences and knowledge of being involved in the secret space program. And what's happening right now is there has been an attack on David Wilcock where I guess his brakes were tampered with, and to obviously as an attempt on his life. And that is obviously what the forces that are in power are able to do covertly and secretly, is tamper with people's brakes and just do assassination attempts that that cannot be traced back to any source. And that's obviously the ultimate goal of an assassination. And he had an attempt on his life, from what I gather. And if that is true, that does mean that he is definitely on the good side. And as well as Corey Goode, because I have had experiences that Corey Goode, to validate his experiences that he talks about. Actually, the one that he talks about where the ship lands in the back of his yard and it's a black triangle, and that obviously he's talking about a TR-3 series craft. And basically he gets on it and straps into a seat, and they start going into the interrogations and whatever and whatnot, and things to get him prepared for what he's doing and the program. And I've had an actual memory of my own that I just recently recalled, where a TR3 did land. But in my memory, obviously it's a screen memory, but now that I'm starting to break through the memories and the screens that are put up on the memories, I'm starting to actually be able to know what really happened when I'm not supposed to know what happened. And one of the memories that I recall that was similar to his was when he does get recalled to go in there, and basically I had a memory where a craft landed and I went to board it as soon as I saw it landing. And when I got on, they basically, a special forces team got out, and actually one of them actually said to me, he's like, congratulations, you made heavyweight. And then I got on the craft and I went to go sit on a seat that was similar to what Corey Goode shows in his pictures with the strap-ins, and then we obviously took off from there. And that's all I remember from that memory. But when I go and I remember this memory, and then Corey Goode came with the other memory of his that was similar to mine. Obviously, there were smear campaigns and things out there that said that he was taking other people's stories and making that his own. And I don't think that he's doing that, because one of the videos that I saw of actually it was taken around his house is a video of what is, it appears to be a CH-47 Chinook helicopter. It's a black helicopter, double engined, and it's just buzzing around his house. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I'm talking too much right now, but this is the same thing that he is experiencing around his house, except this one is not showing itself as a Chinook. But in his video, one of these is just buzzing around his house, because these are obviously TR3 series craft that are involved with the secret space program, that they do fly around, and they try to distract whistleblowers. And when I saw Corey Goode's video of what was going on around his house, that was the same thing I was experiencing. I realized that he is also in the secret space program. But when it comes to that, I've understood as well, there are levels to it, and some people are on one level and other people are on another, and there are different levels of the program. And what I have come to understand about I'm part of that program, but I'm also part of a interdimensional program as well. And those are obviously different alters, and like the and alters can be pretty much seen and described as like there's a show called The Pretender, and it was a series that came out in 1996, and in the show it's about a boy who has he's a genius, and he's able to pretty much learn any skill at an accelerated rate, so he can be anything. And that is actually what they're experimenting with alters, and being able to program alters, and being able to fracture the mind so it's not limited, and so that different alters can be programmed for different purposes, and that can be seen in the Pretender. And that's what a perfect spy intelligence agent would be capable of doing, is being anything. And part of the MK Ultra programming is fracturing mind and programming alters for tasks that need to be carried out by the controller of the MILAB. So in the Corey Goode and David Wilcock campaign, to me, even though I've been back and forth, because when they started presenting things like, oh, they're in it for the money, and yes, they're getting money now from what they've created. They wrote books, and now they've gotten themselves into the spotlight, which that is I don't see anything wrong with that. And obviously they're starting to create a little too much awareness with the attempt on David Wilcock's life. And I know that in my life there's been I am hit with energy weapons. I was hit with one last night because my thought process is, I was just remembering, and I just was hit with an energy weapon, and I just got blasted and was hit to the ground because it was so powerful. And at first, when I started realizing I was getting hit with energy weapons, I was in speculation of is this a good thing? Is this is this part of the ascension process? Am I tuning into higher vibrational frequencies? And I thought maybe it was that, but then I realized when and there are times where you hear rings, and those are higher vibrational frequencies and things coming in, and guides and higher beings, obviously contacting you. But there are times where you get hit and it hurts, and those are the energy weapons. And I'm obviously getting hit with those quite frequently because I'm disclosing and stuff like that. But they do more than that, and it depends on how much you're disclosing and how many people are aware of you and how many people you've reached. Because the one thing they don't want is this information going viral and doing the 100th monkey thing, because that would completely drop the veil down and cause the veil that they have been creating to be dropped, which they've been able to continue to create for us, because we are living in a simulation, and it's the clearest thing ever. It's a system that is a simulation, and we're all in it right now until we realize that it's a simulation. And so that is what they don't want anyone to realize, because once you start realizing that, you start getting the clairvoyance, and you start asking questions about why things are the way they are, and then obviously you realize that they are the way they are to control everybody, and that's another topic to go down into. But obviously I'm going to keep on going down in this and go to the end, because the only way that anyone will ever be able to be aware of this is if it's talked about. And the only way that this world is going to survive is if it is prepared for the things that are being unveiled, and that are going to happen in the future, that is going to definitely test our species. And it's coming, and it is inevitable. And it is going to be when basically everything breaks down, the whole simulation breaks down, the whole and the truth is revealed. And then people are going to be faced with that they've been living in an illusion, and that is going to be taken very many different ways. So thank God that could be, though, because that is the only way that humanity could be liberated, is if that truth was revealed. And it's going to take a lot of more effort to make this seen by the world. So I'm going to keep on the mission that I know I'm here for. So until next time.